4 people still have not been found after fire destroyed their house this morning in Enfield. Firefighters dealing with obstacles preventing their search. Good evening and welcome to 22 News at 6. I'm Barry Krieger.
And I'm Laura Hutchinson. Enfield firefighters are still searching for 4 people after a fire in their 2-family home.
Fire officials just started a news conference at 6 o'clock. Let's listen in and see what's being said about this morning's fire.
A tremendous job they did here this morning. I'd also like to thank the Enfield Police Department and the Enfield Emergency Medical Services for the great work we all did together. Again, our deepest sympathies from the firefighters to the family. It's a sad day and a tragedy here for the area of Thompsonville and the Enfield area. So at this time, I'm going to turn any questions over to our public relations officer for the Enfield Fire Service, Mark Scarra.
Thank you. That's all local monitors.
Are you releasing the names of the victims?
No, we won't be releasing the names. That'll come at some point later tomorrow, most likely.
Do you have any more information about where the fire started, how it started?
Not at this time.
Can you explain what you do know? So-called preliminary investigation?
I don't have any information about the causation of the fire. Obviously, we have a building that's pretty much completely gutted to the point where it's going to fall in on that one side where the 4 deceased people were. As of this point, I think the focus by the fire marshal's office and the special operations team here has been to locate those victims and try to determine, you know, what their the positions of their remains are, and to handle that. From there, the fire marshal will then try to make a decision or determination about what the cause was. Go ahead.
And what you said, the floor where the bodies were discovered, what floor was that of the house?
I believe on both floors, although one floor came down to the other floor, so that remains to be seen and yet to be released.
Can you release the genders of the victims?
I am not sure of the genders of the victims.
Mark, was there a fire there yesterday as well?
Not to our knowledge. There was no report given that, or no. There was no 911 call or a call to the fire station to report that had been the case.
Have you been interviewing witnesses? You said there was a tree fire. We've heard witnesses tell us that there was a tree fire, a small one, yesterday.
You know, really, that from the there may have been witnesses that came up and approached police officers early in the day and maybe indicated that. I don't know at this time if the investigators that are here on scene now have then gone back and contacted those people to say yes or no that this actually happened.
Mark, has criminal activity been ruled out, or are you still investigating whether there was potential criminal activity here?
I don't believe that they are investigating that it's criminal activity.
Can you talk about the conditions that they encountered in their efforts to try and get inside?
As I indicated to some of you earlier, at the time that I arrived on scene, which was probably, I would say, 9 minutes into the operation, and there was still very heavy fire coming out of the building on both levels. I know that the initial crew encountered that heavy fire probably to a greater extent than I saw, because they were already getting water on it when I got here. They've made a valiant effort at every opening to try to, at least get their heads in and try to locate anybody that might be trying to, escape this fire. But it was just an impossible situation. And some of you outlets have video that was shot at about 10 minutes into the fire, and you can see that there's not an opening that isn't flowing with fire. So, very difficult situation. And initially, you probably only have 8 people on scene. The first 4 that came from the Thompsonville Firehouse, and then the next 4 wherever they ended up coming from. It's really not enough to unfortunately make a rescue in this case. You know?
All right, we have been listening live to a news conference being held by the Enfield Fire Department just over the state line in Enfield, Connecticut, where the Enfield Public Information Officer called this morning's fire on South River Street an impossible situation. They have confirmed what we have suspected and feared all day today, that 4 people are dead in that house fire. They have been listed as unaccounted for because it has been unsafe for firefighters to go into that house that burned this morning. We will have details on this news conference and the very latest information on this fire tonight on 22 News at 11 and, of course, on WWLP.com.